Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by towering mountains and lush green fields, there lived a 9-year-old boy named Leo. He was known throughout the village for his adventurous spirit and boundless curiosity. Every day was an opportunity for Leo to explore the world around him, whether it was climbing the tallest trees, racing his friends down the hills, or sailing his little boat across the shimmering lake. One sunny morning, Leo awoke to the sound of birds singing and the golden sunlight streaming through his window. Today felt different. There was a buzz of excitement in the air. Leo jumped out of bed and quickly dressed. He had heard whispers of a grand adventure planned by the village council, a treasure hunt to find the fabled Golden Acorn, said to grant great wisdom to whoever possessed it. Eagerly, Leo rushed to the village square, where the townsfolk were gathered, their faces lit with anticipation. The village elder, a wise man with a long white beard and twinkling blue eyes, stood before them, holding an ancient map in his hands. "Today, brave adventurers, we embark on a quest to find the Golden Acorn," the elder announced, his voice booming with enthusiasm. "But remember, this treasure lies deep in the Enchanted forest, where many have searched and few have succeeded. Each of you must work together, for only through teamwork can we succeed." Leo's heart raced with excitement as he looked around at his friends. Mia, the clever artist, Tom, the brave athlete, and Ella, the kind-hearted storyteller. They had been on countless adventures together, and he knew they would make a great team. "Let's go!" Leo shouted, his voice filled with determination. The group set off, following the map's winding path that led them toward the Enchanted forest, where tall trees towered above, their leaves shimmering like emeralds in the sunlight. As they entered the forest, a sense of magic filled the air. Sunlight streamed through the branches, casting playful shadows on the ground. The sound of chirping birds and rustling leaves created a beautiful symphony. Leo felt alive, energized by the beauty around him. After walking for a while, they reached a clearing where the map indicated they should pause. Leo, ever eager to take charge, shouted, "Let's split up! We'll find the Golden Acorn faster that way." Mia raised an eyebrow. "But what if we get lost? We should stick together, just like the elder said." "Come on, Mia! We'll be fine! We know this forest!" Leo insisted, his excitement clouding his judgment. The others exchanged uncertain glances, but Leo's enthusiasm was hard to resist. With that, they decided to split into pairs, Leo teaming up with Tom, while Mia and Ella went off in the opposite direction. Leo and Tom raced deeper into the forest, their laughter echoing off the trees. But as they explored, the trees grew thicker and the sunlight began to fade. After a while, Leo and Tom found themselves standing before a massive, ancient tree. Its trunk was so wide that it would take several boys holding hands to wrap around it. Carved into the bark were strange symbols, and at its roots lay a pile of colorful stones. "Look at all these stones!" Leo exclaimed. "Maybe one of them is a clue to the Golden Acorn!" Without thinking, Leo began to pick up the stones, tossing them aside as he searched for something shiny or special. Suddenly, he heard a loud rumble, and the ground beneath them shook. Leo glanced back in shock to see that he had accidentally disturbed the stones, and they began to tumble down the hill. "Oh no!" Tom shouted. "Leo, what did you do?" Feeling a pang of guilt, Leo realized that he hadn't thought about the consequences of his actions. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to find the treasure." Tom sighed. "Now we have to go after them before they roll away." The two friends raced down the hill, trying to catch the stones as they rolled faster and faster. But no matter how hard they ran, the stones continued to tumble down, scattering in every direction. Soon, they found themselves completely lost, and the excitement they had felt at the beginning of their adventure had turned to worry. Meanwhile, Mia and Ella were searching for the Golden Acorn in a different part of the forest. They had been working together, carefully following the map and listening to each other's ideas. They had found several clues and were starting to feel hopeful. "Do you think we should go back and find Leo and Tom?" Ella asked. "They might be in trouble." Mia frowned, glancing at the map. "We could, but we're getting closer to the treasure. Let's keep going a little longer. We can always look for them later." Back with Leo and Tom, the two boys finally managed to collect some of the stones. Breathing heavily, they sat down on a fallen log to catch their breath. Leo felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. "I shouldn't have insisted on splitting up. It was my idea to search alone, and now we're lost." Tom nodded, looking serious. "You need to take responsibility for your actions, Leo. We could have been more careful." "I know," Leo admitted, feeling a mix of regret and determination. "I should have listened to Mia. She was right. We should have stayed together." Just then, they heard a rustling in the bushes nearby. Out stepped a curious rabbit, its nose twitching and its big ears perked up. The rabbit paused, looking at them with bright, intelligent eyes. Leo felt a spark of inspiration. Maybe this rabbit can help us find our way back. Leo and Tom stood up, following the rabbit as it bounded ahead, pausing occasionally to make sure they were following. They walked for what felt like ages, but Leo's heart began to lighten. He felt grateful for the rabbit's help, and he realized that sometimes accepting guidance from others is part of taking responsibility. As they walked, they talked about their mistake. "Next time, I'll remember to listen more," Leo said, "and I'll own my choices. It's not just about the fun of the adventure. It's about working together." At last, the rabbit led them back to the clearing, where they found Mia and Ella waiting, looking worried. "There you are!" Mia exclaimed, relief flooding her face. "We were starting to think we'd have to come find you." "I'm sorry," Leo said, sincerity in his voice. "It was my idea to split up, and I didn't listen to you. I take full responsibility for that." Mia smiled, accepting his apology. "We all make mistakes, Leo. It's how we learn." "Yeah, and now that we're back together, we can find the Golden Acorn," Tom added, his excitement renewed. With their group reunited, they carefully examined the map once more. This time, Leo listened attentively as they discussed their next steps. They decided to follow a different path, one that wound around the massive tree they had previously encountered. As they walked, they encountered various challenges: a fallen log that they had to climb over, and a narrow stream they had to cross. Each time, they worked together, encouraging one another and sharing ideas. Leo felt a sense of pride as he contributed, but he also learned to listen to the voices of his friends. Finally, after what felt like a grand adventure, they stumbled upon a shimmering glade. At its center stood a pedestal with the Golden Acorn resting upon it, gleaming in the dappled sunlight. "We found it!" Leo shouted, his heart racing with joy. They all cheered, rushing forward to admire the treasure. As they gathered around the Golden Acorn, the elders' words echoed in Leo's mind. "Only through teamwork can we succeed." He realized that this treasure was not just a reward for their efforts. but a reminder of the importance of taking responsibility for their choices and actions. With the Golden Acorn in hand, they made their way back to the village, where the townsfolk greeted them with cheers and applause. The elder welcomed them, his eyes twinkling with pride. "You have learned valuable lessons today, young adventurers. The Golden Acorn may grant wisdom, but the wisdom you gain through your experiences is far more precious." As Leo stood among his friends, he felt a sense of gratitude swell within him. He understood now that accountability empowered him to shape his life and take control of his destiny. Each choice he made, whether big or small, would lead him to new adventures and discoveries. That evening, as the sun set and painted the sky with shades of orange and pink, Leo lay in bed, reflecting on the day. He felt a warm glow of satisfaction. He had learned the importance of taking responsibility, not just for himself, but for his friends and their journey together. Sweet dreams, young adventurer. May you always remember that every choice shapes your path, and taking responsibility opens the door to a world of endless possibilities. Good night.